When you think about bringing something up, you already feel tired before the conversation even starts. You rehearse what you want to say. You try to say it carefully in your head. And part of you is already worried the conversation is going to turn into something else. Maybe they become defensive. Maybe the focus suddenly shifts onto you. Maybe you leave the conversation feeling guilty again. So eventually you stop wanting to bring difficult things up at all. And for a moment, that avoidance can feel easier than another confusing conversation. Many people recognize this pattern slowly. At first, they still try to explain themselves. They still hope the next conversation will finally feel different. But over time, the body starts remembering what the mind is still trying to solve. You notice tension before the conversation even begins. Your stomach tightens, your thoughts speed up. Now you're trying to prevent the conversation from going badly before anything has even happened yet. Some people describe this as a narcissistic communication pattern when it happens repeatedly. Not because difficult conversations are always unhealthy, but because the interaction repeatedly stops feeling emotionally safe, clear, or resolving. When you try to address an issue, the conversation may begin normally, but then the direction changes. The focus begins moving toward your tone, your timing, or your reaction instead of the original concern. Now you're defending your intentions instead of explaining what hurt you. Your point never fully gets explored. The conversation starts centering around managing the interaction itself. For them, this can become useful, because when the focus keeps shifting away from the original issue, resolution becomes harder to reach. And over time, avoidance can begin to feel emotionally safer than trying to resolve things again. That is one reason people start avoiding difficult conversations. Not because they do not care, but because previous conversations left them emotionally exhausted, confused, or blamed. Many people respond to this by over-preparing before conversations. They carefully choose words. They try to stay calm. They mentally rehearse possible reactions. But even then, the conversation can still shift away from understanding. If this happens once, it may be misunderstanding, but when it repeats, a pattern can form. In healthy conversations, both people stay with the original concern long enough to understand it. Healthy conflict creates more openness over time. Unhealthy conflict often creates anticipation, tension, and emotional avoidance. And eventually, silence can start feeling emotionally safer than honesty. That does not mean your concerns stopped mattering. It may mean your nervous system learned to expect confusion instead of resolution. And recognizing that pattern can help you understand why difficult conversations now feel emotionally heavy before they even begin. If this helped put words to your experience, like the video and subscribe to the channel. This channel exists to help you recognize narcissistic and manipulative patterns calmly, clearly, and without blame, so you can understand what's happening and trust yourself again. And when conversations unfold this way, another pattern often begins to form. In the next video, we're going to explain why you feel stuck in the same arguments during conflict and how that pattern keeps the conversation from resolving. Click here to watch.